First things first, I deeply apologize for the delay in getting this review up. I had some more tech issues rear their ugly heads this past week, but I've got them sorted out now, finally, so now hopefully I can start cranking up videos like I want to in a more timely manner. With all that out of the way, let's get into my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We're starting right now. Set to the backdrop of Awesome Mixtape number 2, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues the team's adventures as they traverse the outer reaches of the cosmos. The Guardians must fight to keep their newfound family together as they unravel the mysteries of Peter Quill's true parentage. Old foes become new allies, and fan-favorite characters from the classic comics will come to our heroes' aid as the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to expand. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, and Kurt Russell. It is rated PG-13 for sequences of sci-fi action and violence, language, and brief suggestive content. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the 15th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was once again written and directed by James Gunn and sees the return of all our favorite a-holes from the first movie. It takes place just a few months after the events of the first film, and the crew is on a mission from these gold people, called the Sovereign, to protect these super powerful batteries. Rocket Raccoon steals a few of the batteries, and the new movie kicks off. They're being pursued by the Sovereign and are rescued by a guy named Ego, who just happens to be Star-Lord's father. Don't worry, none of that was spoilers, it's all in the trailers. Now the big question I know that you're asking is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as good as the first Guardians of the Galaxy? And I have to say that I really liked this movie, but unfortunately I didn't love it as much as I do the first Guardians. The first Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite Marvel movies, and the first time that I saw it, it was the most fun that I have had at a movie for quite a while. It was just fun from beginning to end. Volume 2 doesn't quite live up to that high benchmark, but it is still a pretty fun time, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's not quite as good as the first film, but then again, very few sequels can ever live up to what made us love the first movie in the franchise so much. The returning characters are pretty much more of the same from the first film, but I will say that Drax really stole the show for me this time around. He got the most laughs at the screening that I was in, not just from myself, but from the entire theater. Some of the things he said were absolutely hysterical. Baby Groot is super adorable. There's one scene where Baby Groot has to find an item for Rocket and Yondu, and the hijinks that ensue were pretty funny. I did like that we got to see more interaction between Nebula and Gamora this time around, and got more insight into their background and why they have such a huge conflict with each other. The addition of Mantis was fine, there's just nothing special about her character or her performance. The biggest surprise to me was Michael Rooker as Yondu, and in a lot of ways this is the Yondu movie. He's a much more developed character this time around, and I really enjoyed his character and Michael Rooker's performance of him in this film. Obviously, the movie's main plot point is Chris Pratt's Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, and his relationship with his father, Ego, played by Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell as Ego is a very welcome addition to the MCU, and I thought he did a pretty good job. There is a brief cameo from an old TV star. Of course, I'm not going to spoil who it is or what it's about, but oh my golly, it was perfect. The special effects, of course, are really good. Visually, this movie is stunningly beautiful. The storytelling and pacing of the movie, especially in the first half, is a little bit of a mess. It doesn't really feel like there's a cohesive story there, more just jumping from scene to scene to scene. And in a lot of ways, it's the same problem that I have with the first half of Rogue One. It keeps jumping from place to place to place, and you're left trying to figure out the through line and how it all connects. It just doesn't flow very well. I feel like they knew how they wanted to end the story, they just didn't know quite how to get there. Similar to how the writers of Rogue One knew how they wanted to line up perfectly with the beginning of A New Hope, it was just a little rough getting there. Like Rogue One, I did enjoy the second half of this movie more than the first half. The soundtrack isn't quite as good or quite as memorable as the first film, but there still are a lot of great classic rock songs here to help drive the story along. I was a little disappointed, however, that the song from the trailers, Fox on the Run, was nowhere to be heard in the movie. The music that is there is great, and I just wish that they would have found a way to incorporate the song from the marketing campaign into the film itself. So overall, again, I really liked this movie, but unfortunately I didn't love it. It isn't quite as good as the first film, but that does not mean that it still isn't a lot of fun and a great time at the movies. It's still very entertaining, a lot of fun, very funny. I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a 4 out of 5. I still highly recommend seeing this in theaters on the biggest screen possible with as many people as possible. It's still a very enjoyable film. Maybe my expectations were just a little bit too high. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Everyone else in my theater seemed to really like it, and I think if you like this first film, you're probably going to like this one as well. I cannot wait to pick this up on Blu-ray and add it to my collection. Alright guys, so those are my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Have you seen it yet? If so, what did you think? What is your favorite sequel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and where does this one rank in the MCU? Let me know by sounding off in the comments down below. If you liked this video, please click the thumbs up button, leave a comment, share this review with other movie lovers, and of course, be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much as always for watching, and until next time,
I am Groot.
Bye-bye.